Sometimes it's the most basic things in English that we need help with. And there are lots of little things all around you in your workspace or in your office that you use every day, but you might not know what to call it in English. And maybe that doesn't come up very often for you in conversation, but maybe it could be a very important piece of the English puzzle for you. So today I've sort of left my desk a little bit messy. I've left a few things out so we can talk about just what they are around my office. You're not going to need a lot of explanation for how to use that thing in a sentence. Maybe just a little bit of vocabulary help to say, how do I say that thing in English? So let's get started. Right here I've got my coffee cup. It could be a tea cup. If you use it for coffee, we often call this a mug. A sort of ceramic, bigger thing that has a handle on it. Could you say a coffee cup or a coffee mug? Right now mine is empty, but generally I love to have some coffee or sometimes some tea in it. Boy, I wish I had some pens. You know what I mean? Just kidding. I have lots of pens in here. So pens are the things that use ink, right? These are pens. Now some of them have a button to push and it makes the ink come out. And some of them we take off their lid. We take off the lid and we have ink from the pen. I also have a few pencils in here. Pencils which use graphite or lead or are made of wood. What is this that I'm holding? I would call it a pen or a pencil holder. It's pretty simple, right? Pencil holder, pen holder. As you can see, I also have a couple of pairs of scissors in here in case I need to cut things. So I put scissors in my little pencil holder as well. Now, I don't need a really big thing to hold all of my office supplies in because I don't use them every day. But if you did, you might want a desk caddy. A desk caddy. That's the bigger one, which has a hole for scissors and a place for paper clips and pens and pencils and all the things you need. I just have a simple pen holder or pencil holder. Oh, let's not forget what's on top of the pencil. If you need to take away some things that you didn't mean to write, you can use the eraser on top of the pencil. The eraser to go like this, and you erase all of the things you didn't want. Now these little things are some of my favorites. Now they could be just little memo pads to write a short note and leave it on someone's desk or on someone's door. But these, if you feel, have a little bit of, what is that? Stickiness on them. They're sticky. So we have two words we could call them. Sticky notes, because they're notes, and they're sticky on the back, so you can peel one off and stick it. Or you could call it Post-it notes. Post-it is a famous brand of these type of notes, so we could call it Post-it notes or just Post-its. And I have lots of Post-its. Big Post-its, triangle Post-its, small Post-its, Post-its everywhere. Now, right up here, I've got my, my board. We could call it a bulletin board or a note board or a pin board. A pin is something you'd stick it in with. Sometimes I put personal pictures there. I have some scheduling things. I have some information. It's a place to put things. Some people call it also a cork board. Cork is that material that many of these are made out of that things can stick in very easily. Little thumbtacks can stick into this board easily. These little things are thumbtacks. They can stick into cork very easily. I'm assuming you already know what a book is, so we don't need to talk about that. But something that goes along with books are these little things that can hold my place in a book. It's a bookmark. Do you have a lot of bookmarks? Do you use paper books still, or do you only use ebooks? What's it like for you? I still love a good paper book, and the smell of a paper book is great. But to be honest, because I travel a lot, I really like ebooks. I can keep lots and lots of books on there at the same time. So I like both, but I always need some bookmarks. I also need my computer. I could say computer because a computer is just a general term for this thing that does this work for me. I have a laptop. So if I want to be specific, mine is a laptop. You could also have a desktop computer. I don't know too many people that personally have a desktop computer anymore, but many people have one at their job or in their company. That's possible. But the laptop is a computer which sits on your lap, and it's portable. So it's a laptop that you can take different places and do your work wherever you want. I know, you know what that is, but I'm giving you a few more words to use for it. Or maybe you have a desktop. Maybe you have the computer that sits and stays in one place at your office or at your home, and it's always there. You can't move it around. And sometimes I need to stick things together. Sometimes I want to use this. Tape. It's tape. We could even call it transparent tape because I can see through it. And my tape usually comes in this kind of a thing. It's a dispenser, a tape dispenser. A dispenser is something that allows me to take the thing from it. So it dispenses tape to me. And sometimes I want to stick things together with this. It's a very little one, but it's a stapler. So the things that are in it, these little metal pieces, are called staples. Maybe there aren't any in there. I don't know. So this is a stapler, and they are little staples that can hold my papers together. And sometimes I want to hold other things together, and I wrap one of these little things around a set of papers or a set of pencils. These are rubber bands. Rubber bands. And I have plenty of them here. You can wrap them around one time. You can wrap them around twice. Rubber bands. I mentioned I had my coffee cup or teacup with me, but if I want to make sure that my desk stays kind of clean, it doesn't get any marks on it, I also could have a coaster underneath it. It's that little thing that holds your cup above the desk or the table to keep the table neat or clean. So I have a coaster that I can put my coffee cup on. I've also got a couple of these little cards. It has Mayak, the place that I work, and my name and contact information. These are my business cards. I always keep a few of these around, so in case somebody needs my contact information, they can have it. It's business cards. Business cards. These little things are not little, and I keep them in a hidden away place so they don't have to be right on top of my desk. But I've got a lot of them in my office. I would call this a binder. A binder. It's often got a place in the front that you can label it, to put a label on it to show what it is and why you're using it. And depending on how many rings are inside of it, this one has 2 rings, so we would call it a 2-ring binder. Sometimes they're a 3-ring binder, 4-ring binder. You can have all kinds of rings in your binder. But a binder is a place to keep all these things together. Now, in my binder, I have a lot of little papers. This one's music. But what are these little things? I would call this a plastic sleeve. A plastic sleeve. So in this plastic sleeve, I can stick whatever papers that I need, stick it in there, and it's got holes. So I can match these holes up to my binder, see how many holes it has and how many my binder has, and I can keep my plastic sleeve with my information safe inside my binder. And finally, sometimes you never know the old things you're going to find in your desk. Some of you might know what this is. Some of you might have no idea what this little thing is. This is what we call a floppy disk, and it does me no good anymore. I don't have a computer or a place to use this. It has some information on it from a long time ago, and I suppose I could find a way to access it, but it's sort of like an antique that I like to keep around. So this is my floppy disk. I hope you don't need to use this word, but it might come up in some retro conversation that you have. So maybe you have some floppy disks in your office as well. I know I probably missed some things that are in my own office, and you probably have some different things in your office. So please let me know if there's something I missed that you were like, I see this thing every day and I don't know what to call it in English. Let me know and we can find a word for it. Thanks for joining me today, and have a good day at the office.